Ange, the loss of Fink was obviously a big blow. How do you replace him in the short term?
Yeah, no, it is disappointing. I mean, before we talk about replacing him, we've got to understand it's a human being involved. So we're really disappointed for Guy. He's had a great start to the year for us. He's been really important the first half of the year, and in terms of getting adjusted to the football here, he was getting better and better, and we're really confident his back half of the year will be even better. So disappointing for him. He's been a real good addition to our squad and added something to us. So disappointed that he can't see out the season. Obviously he's going to miss a fair bit of football. I was a bit disappointed as well with the treatment he got from the officials up there, particularly the referee. I mean, he's done his ACL and he's had to crawl off the pitch without getting any medical help from our people. So, and again, we've got to be aware that players need to be protected, and their welfare is the key thing. It's easy for referees to get swayed by crowds who think people are simulating or pretending to be hurt, but supporting, refereeing, even coaching are non-contact activities. So for us to sit there and decide who's hurt or not is pretty disappointing. So I would have expected better treatment for him up there, but as you said, he's out, and in the sporting world, like most of our industries, you've got to move on, and we've got a game tomorrow, and we'll adjust things so that we can compensate for his loss.
Ange, have you spoken to the league about that?
I will be speaking to the league about that, because there was a couple. I mean, there was. I watched the Wellington-Brisbane game, and I saw Leo Burdos cop a head clash, and the referee let the game go as well. I mean, like I said, whilst there's a real endeavour in this country to make sure that we cut out simulating or player acting or everything like that, it's still a contact sport. People get hurt in our game, and this is not a shot at referees about decisions. It's about just making sure that the workplace is respected, and that players are going out there to put their bodies on the line, and for the sake of whistling fans, I reckon we should make sure players are okay before play continues.
Was he disappointed about it as well?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because he's not that kind of player. Anyone who's watched him, I see again, sometimes with foreigners we assume they go down, he's not hurt. But as I said, it was pretty clear that he'd done something fairly serious. The game before, I was trying to make a substitution. Our player who was injured, who kept going, didn't go down, and I couldn't make my substitution. This time he goes down, asks for medical help, and the referee deems that because he's close to the touchline, he should just drag himself off.
Is there a danger? Is there a danger that more damage could have been done by doing that?
I don't think so. No, the damage was already done. But how do you know? I'm not a doctor. I mean, that's why we have physios, and to be honest, our physio ran on without permission, because I told him to run on, because as I said, I know Guy, and he wouldn't stay down unless there was something seriously wrong. In
terms of replacing him, do you bring someone in or replace from within?
Yeah, we'll look at that. I mean, we have that opportunity for sure. The January window allows people to allows clubs to bring players in, so we'll have a look at it. We'll obviously he's going to be out for a length of time, so we've still got over half a season to go plus finals, so fair chunk of the season. So we'll have a look at it, but the more media concern, nothing can happen before I think January 14th anyway. So we've got a couple of games before that, so the immediate concern is just to make sure we're right for tomorrow, and then beyond that we'll have a look at what's available and make a decision accordingly.
What about short term? Is it up to Melbourne now to step up, and I would guess Flores, who's been playing alongside Guy?
Yeah, I think that there's a couple that can share the load through there. We'll look at some different options. We get Mark Milligan back, which is a massive bonus for us as well this weekend. He's been a big part of our first half of the year, and it's a heavy program, so to be able to bring someone like him in that's fresh certainly helps us for tomorrow night. But we'll look at a couple of different ways. We've certainly been working with a number of players through that area, so we've got 2 or 3 options, and we'll make a decision on that probably today.
Do you modify your training because of the heat?
No, not really. We won't do much. Mainly because it's been a heavy program. I mean, we've had, this will be our 4th game in a couple of weeks, and 3rd in I think 10, 11 days. So, regardless of the heat, we wouldn't train much today. But we'll get out there. We'll do what we need to do, and then hopefully get them back inside and recovering for tomorrow.
Just on the officiating, Ange, there's been a lot of mistakes this year in addition to the ones that you just mentioned. Is there an issue there?
It's not I'm not talking about refereeing mistakes. I'm just talking about a duty of care. This is just treating human beings with a bit of respect. It's not about, I'm not talking about whether referees get decisions right or wrong. I never have, I think the refereeing's been okay this year. We haven't had, I don't think we've had a penalty yet, which is, I wouldn't mind one of those, but aside from that, there's nothing that's sort of affected our momentum or our progress this year as a football club, and we kind of try and ignore that. I mean, we had the situation in Sydney where Western Sydney in the first round we had a player sent off, probably shouldn't have been, but we still won the game. So I still think that's always been our attitude. So I'm not talking about referees' decisions. This has got nothing to do with that. This has just got to do with, understanding that, our sport is a contact, it's a physical sport, and whilst, trying to maybe stamp out one area of the game which people think is, don't find appealing, we must always remember, like I said, it's easy for supporters and coaches and referees, and we're doing our press conference in the shade, so you journalists aren't tough either. For us to all sit here and say that he's not hurt, he's okay, he should just get up, but we're not out there running around and putting our bodies on the line. And like I said, I was really disappointed with the fact that he didn't get the attention he needed straight away.
Ange, looking at Wellington, how do you see their form coming into this game?
Oh, look, they're like everyone else. I mean, I think I said last week before our game that it's just that sort of league. They've had a couple of narrow losses that they could have easily won. They beat Hart, in the game before, and so it's just one of those. If we play well, we're a good chance to win the game. If we don't play well, then they can knock us off. There's no team you go into, and even form is not necessarily a decent guide in this league. As you can see, it just depends really on the day of who's performing close to their capabilities. At their best, I think, they're a tough nut to crack, no doubt about it. But so are we, and I think that's the more important thing for us, to get back to playing our best. We were disappointed with Tuesday. That was probably, apart from maybe the first couple of games, our worst performance from a structural point of view, the football we want to play, even though we could still have got something out of the game. So we need to get back to the kind of football we were playing previous to that.
And in your column today, you spoke about the fact that money talks when it comes to transfers and whatnot. It must be refreshing when a player like Marco yesterday says that money is not the major factor in his next decision.
Yeah, no, look, and hopefully that's the case. Look, Marco, as people can see, he's a pretty level-headed young man, and he's got his dad advising him, and I think they've got a plan for Marco, and I think if they follow that plan, they won't be far off. But as I said, my general experience with these things is that there's a whole lot of philosophical talk until the money hits the table, and then usually that takes precedence over everything else. So hopefully with Marco, because again, it's not just Marco, but any player, any young player who shows potential, you want them to, you've got to take a long-term view. It should be about maximising your potential throughout your career, not just what's going to be good for the next 2 years or 3 years. And whoever takes a longer-term view ends up having a better career, I think.
Do you think that plan for Marco includes another season in the A-League?
I hope so. I mean, but again, that'll be a decision for him and his family. Look, my advice was yes. I think. I don't think Marco. I think Marco will get better as a footballer, no doubt. And if he plays better next year than he has so far this year, or the rest of this year, I reckon he'll have half a dozen clubs after him, and I reckon that's a good space to be in. But again, that's that'll be dependent on what the thinking of Marco and his family are.